Hello, this is Mishu, and he has nothing to say about what I'm going to talk about. Oh, he's so scared. Okay, I wanted to talk about this latest controversy with the reality TV star Taylor Frankie Paul. She is a star of a reality TV show called The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and she had recently had a show that was canceled right before it was released called The Bachelorette. Everybody knows The Bachelorette. And this was because a tape of a domestic violence incident got released, possibly by her ex, whose name is Dakota. I don't know his last name. Who cares? Anyway, um, the video is horrific. I watched it. It shows her completely losing her shit, throwing chairs. There's a sound of baby crying. Presumably, the baby gets struck with the chair. I only watched it once, so this is probably not presumably or allegedly. It does happen. I remember starting to watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and knowing that she was charged with domestic assault. And that was probably from that evening. And I was really surprised at that time that not that they allowed her to be on television and to participate, etc. She's a very charming, charismatic character, but I was surprised that no one was addressing her addiction. And because I think what's happening, what is in that domestic um, violence video is an addict in the midst of their addiction. Obviously, I don't condone violence in any way, but I have had a couple accidents, what am I saying? Incidents in the past where I would get belligerent and I would get, loud. There was one time where I threw oranges at a wall. I was really distressed over something that happened. There was one time when I kicked the chair. Um, my family was in proximity. They were not around to witness it, but it was embarrassing on all levels, and I still feel a lot of shame around it. Um, but I was thinking like if if at some point I was commissioned or I to be appearing on a television show like in the worst of my addiction, I would be a spectacle. And this is what I think those reality TV shows really bank on, is that people do get drunk and belligerent and act out of character. But I also think that there's something where they purposely hire and focus on people who are struggling with addiction, who are um, really going through it because they make for good television. So I don't know why it got to this point where Taylor, who probably needs to be on intervention rather than The Bachelorette, ended up on Bachelorette, as she was also on Dancing with the Stars. Why there was zero focus on addressing her drinking and addressing the fact that there seemed to be no one around her who was helping her. I don't know why anybody's surprised that this video has surfaced. I mean, it's horrific. Don't watch it if you haven't seen it. Take my word for it. It's not a fun thing to watch. But I've noticed this as a fan of reality TV. I've been watching reality TV since its inception, I think. And I have noticed that, a lot of the people who get hired, who are, showcased, are people who are generally struggling, mostly with drinking. I know people are, given alcohol. I know they're encouraged to drink. Every single one of those dating shows, you see those golden cups on Love is Blind. Everyone's drinking constantly. I mean, it's one of those things where we're watching people fall apart on the screen for our own entertainment. And I am guilty of participating and watching. But I remember again with Taylor, you know, uh, watching the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and just being appalled at the fact that they had this very active addict on the show, and that they were not addressing her addiction. They were addressing everything else. They were addressing cheating scandals and family issues and fights between the women, fashion, you name it. Like, but for some reason, addiction, which was like staring us right in the face, was completely ignored. And why is that? Why is that? You know, why? It's interesting because in my book Unshaming, I talk about 2013 when I published my book Drunk Mom and the way we treated addicts back then, where, you know, Amy Winehouse was sort of a tabloid fodder, Britney Spears shaving her head, and then Nicole Smith died from addiction, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, all these women were, you know, displayed and made fun of essentially and publicly humiliated, publicly shamed. And again, no one was helping. No one was reaching out. No one was saying, you know, what we're watching is people who are committing suicide in installments. This is what addiction is essentially. So I don't know if this, you know, who am I speaking to? I have no idea. My readers and my followers, um, yeah, I just feel it's really atrocious that this goes on and that this is what makes good television. And this video that surfaced is not a huge surprise. You know, it's really. And I haven't watched The Bachelor. Well, none of us have watched The Bachelorette, but I bet, you know, Taylor is drinking in every single episode, getting, you know, trashed with all the men that she has to impress and has to get engaged to. And that's part of the entertainment. So fun. I follow a bunch of Instagram accounts as well. One called Read in the Street, where, you know, addicts are showcased, overdosing, shooting up, you know, lying on the ground. Like I watch them not because I'm at all, you know, morbidly interested. I watch them because I can relate and because I want to see if showcasing this actually brings more exposure and attention to the problem. But most of the time the comments are, you know, judgmental, uh and even the videos themselves seem very exploitative. So I don't have a solution. This is just a little rant in lieu of writing a post about it. And yeah, that's it.